The missing EgyptAir plane has been found. According to reports, the Egyptian military has located debris from vanished MS-804 some 290 kilometers north of Alexandria. Also found were some of the passengers' personal belongings. EgyptAir confirmed the discovery of the debris. It also tweeted condolences to the families of the victim. MS-804 was flying from Paris to Cairo yesterday with 66 people on board. According to Greece's defense minister, the jetliner, which had just left Greek airspace, swerved radically and plunged from 37,000 feet to 15,000 feet before vanishing off the radar. There was no official indication of a possible cause, whether technical failure, human error, or sabotage. So far, no group had claimed responsibility for the flight's disappearance. PKR whistleblower Rafizi has owned up to sending a WhatsApp message that contained allegations of corruption in Selangor. However, he says the allegation was not against any elected representative or government officer in Selangor. He promised to compile a report on the allegation. Rafizi said he's merely erring on the side of caution, as PKR must be, in his own words, whiter than white. Now, in case you haven't heard, Rafizi had in a leaked message threatened to expose allegations of officials demanding cash and women of those wanting to deal with the state. The message made its rounds on the social media, and Selangor MB Azmin Ali wasn't pleased. While he didn't directly address Rafizi, he said that the act of making such allegations without requisite evidence and disseminating the rumor was of sheer cowardice, irresponsibility, and malicious mischief. Tanjong Offshore is aiming to reduce its earnings contribution from oil and gas to 70%, leaving the remaining 30% to its other business segments. This as the oil squeeze sees Petronas cutting spending, which translates to fewer jobs for the oil and gas segment. So to get these contracts, Tanjong will have to sacrifice its margins. To cushion the blow, Tanjong is venturing into other areas, including aerospace. The company says UMW and Rolls-Royce would be a good potential partner for future plans. While it wants to begin its diversifying plan this year, the oil and gas segment will remain as the group's core business, as it pursues more downstream works at the Petronas Rapid project. Malaysia's inflation rate slowed in April on the back of cheaper petrol at the pump. The consumer price index was up 2.1% in April from a year ago, in line with economists' consensus forecast. In March, the increase was 2.6% year-on-year, while in February the gauge had jumped 4.2%. April's increase was mainly on a 20% spike in the prices of alcoholic beverages and tobacco. The price of other goods and services were also higher, but this was offset as transport prices fell 5.5% from a year earlier. A weaker ringgit and the low crude oil prices have weighed on Malaysia's economic growth, which slowed to 4.2% year-on-year in the first quarter of 2016. Still, Bank Negara expects domestic demand to drive growth. It kept its benchmark interest rate at 3.25% at its policy meeting yesterday. Businessman Jho Low is selling precious artworks at a loss again. According to the Wall Street Journal, this time it's Jean-Michel Basquiat's dust hits sold for $35 million, way below than the $48.8 million that he paid for it. The news agency reports that Low is also selling his stake in the Park Lane Hotel in Manhattan for an undisclosed price. He had roughly paid $175 million for it. Wall Street Journal said the transactions comes as the FBI examines his financial dealings in the US and abroad. Citing sources and bank records, the report said that Low had paid for the paintings using an offshore firm that got its funding originally from 1MDB. Low's art collection was worth $300 million at one point, but he began unloading them in February this year. Masterpieces he sold includes paintings by Picasso and Monet, also sold at a loss.